Okay, next concept is here the consider the loops. There are four types of looping statements here for the Verilog HDL for writing the behavioral model programming. Okay, these are the four types of looping statements for writing the digital design system Verilog code for the my digital system with the in the behavioral model. Okay, now first one is what the for while loop. Second one is for loop. Third one is what the forever. Fourth one is the repeat. Repeat. Okay, while loop will have the two values as they are true or false. Whether it is a true, I have to I have to execute the first statements. If it is a false, then I have to go with the second statement. Okay, for loop is as having the as the it's a first initially it starts with the one value as the I equals to 0, I plus plus sorry I is condition is there, condition will to make the conditions as the less than 5 or whatever the sum integers, and then it will increment the some values here. This is what the for loop. Forever sometimes if it's unlimited counts I need the unlimited, it has to be repeated many times, it has to be unlimited time, then that maybe I go with what the forever loops. Repeated loops. Repeated loops are what the we have to repeat the same clock is will be repeating for the 12 hours for the day, for the to make the 24 hours for the day. It has to be repeat the count has to be starts with the as it is count has to be started like this. It has to repeat the every time the counts from the 1 to 12 hours. Then thereafter there will use the repeater. Okay, there are many questions here by the examination. They will be asking for the explain the while and the for loop with an example, and also sometimes we'll be asking the on the repeat statement write a program for the clock with the delay of the 20 seconds. You'll be asking same, and also you'll be asking the examples for writing the this forever loop also. These are the easiest concept we can easily write the program for these type of statements here. Okay, first one we'll consider the while statement. Okay, first one we'll consider the while statement. While statement will have the two options as the it has to execute the if it is a true then only it is to be executing the first statement. It is to be executing the first statement. Otherwise it is a else to it is will be executing the next statement. It's here the keyword I used here the while only. I used here the what the while keyword, and also I have the it is the while loop will be executed until the while expression is not true. If it is a true, then that much times it will be executing it. It means the while statement will be executed up to what the up to while statement is up to the statement is not true. Statement is not true. If it is a, it will be executing. If it is a okay, while statement will be executed up to the statement is if it is a not true that time many times it will be executing it. If it will be ended with the if the my statement is not true, then only it will stop executing the program while loop. While if it is a true that much time only it will be executing the keyword I used here the while is the keyword here the if the I have the multiple number of statements. If I have the multiple number of statements statements, those to be combined together in the form of what the as the start and begin and the end also with the keyword as the begin and end as the begin and end as we already studied this type of statements in the previous other subjects, in the previous year semesters, there we have studied the while statement. While statements are used for the execution of the true statements. While true statements, the keyword is what the while. While statement will be executed up to what the until the true condition is there. If it is not true, then we'll go to the default execution. Next, if they have the multiple number of statements in my program, those to be combined between the what the begin and end. Okay, begin and end. For example, here I have the one example initial. Sorry, integer. Integer count is there. I am counting the some values here. Counting. Okay, that is to be what the begin. Always the initial. Initial is what the writing a program with the behavioral model as the initial statement and the always statement, as you already studied in the basics, that the starting of the module. Okay, if I use the initial means, then I have to go with what the begin. You should remember. Without the initial, will not get the begin. Oh, sorry, that's the begin itself. Begin and end. ನಾನು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರಿಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೇನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ತಗೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾನ ನಾನು ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ that the begin will always comes with what the initial. Okay, yes, you are right. Initial itself, initial. If I return the initial, thereafter I have to write what the begin and end. Begin and the end also. Begin and end also. Okay, begin and end also. Okay, that's the nothing but the within this begin and end I have to write the logic here. I count always, my count always start with what the 0 itself. So I am initiating the count equals to what the 0. Count equals to 0. Counts always starts with what if you are saying the some value, initial value, that will be taking it. But here the I am taking the initial count is what the 0 itself. Initial value is 0. Then I have to go with the what the while. We're writing what the example for the while statement. I am using the while statement here. Okay, then the count will be incremented until the what the until the it has to meet the 120 of my value here, 128 or 128. Okay, executes the till the count of what the it will be executing how much it will be executing. It will execute how many times 0 to 127, because the count is to be less than the 128. 128 120 equal ಆಗಿರಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನ. Is the count should be must be less than the 128. It's not equal to 128. It means the 0 to 127 is how much? It's 127 itself. Okay, then the I started with the count equals to 0. Then count should be initial while statement is the with the condition is the count should be less than the 128. Then the it is I am writing the comments here as the it will be execute up to what the 127 times. 127 times. Then I will be writing the okay. I have to display the values here. The whatever the I have the values. Then the I have to go with what the dollar display. Dollar display, it will display the whatever the statement I written in this bracket. Okay, dollar display count equals to percentage of d. D is what the decimal value. What is this one? These are what decimal values or binary? Decimal. That's what I am using the percentage of d. If it is a binary, percentage of b. If it is hexadecimal, percentage of h. Like this we have studied these things already in the basics. Yeah, I am using the decimal value. That's what I have taken here what the percentage of d here. Then the count. I have to count with what the count here. And the count should be always increment how many times? I have to mention here count +1 madana, +5 madana. It should be what the I have to reach what the 128. It means 127 times it has to be incremented means what the I have to increment with what the 1 itself. Count +1, because 0 plus 1 is nothing but the 1. 1 plus 1 is nothing but 2. 2 plus 1 is what the 3. Like this I has to count out to what the 127 means 0 to 127. Okay, this is what the writing the while statement. How we have to using while statement. It consists of the count is less than condition is here. while using the condition itself, I have to give the count also here, the whatever that. If it is a condition is another, then also I have to give the some other conditions here, increments or decrement. If it is a decrement, you can also give the decrement also, not at like this. If you are doing the decrement also, then also give whatever you will do. Okay, it's what the incrementing the count is here. This is what the example we need here, writing the program for the while statement. Okay, just to take this one, then I'll go with what the for loop. Just to copy them. Okay, they will be asking in the examination. I write a program for the increment of 127. Then they should not get confused. What to do? How to write that 127 count is to be done like this, where he has explained. You should remember this one with the in the classroom. I have explained with the help of for the while statement only. Here the while. Okay, while statement you write. This the keyword is for the while. Okay, you can write the take the small words here as the while statement. While keyword is used for the while statement purpose. Executed up to what the statements to reach not true. To reach not true. Not true ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಕ true ಇರೋ ತಕ execute ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. If it is a not true, if it's false, then it will stop the that is the what the execution of that statement. Okay, while statement. Here the multiple number of statements are there. If I have the only one statement, then I can go with the single. If I have the multiple number of statements, then I go with what the begin and end. This begin and end cannot be written separately, so that I go with what the initial statement with writing the program in the behavioral module. Okay, this is the count always start with the 0, incremented with what the 1 I am doing here. With the condition of SD, it has to be reach less than the 128. Is less than 128 is nothing but what the 127 times it has to count here. It has to count 128 times only, but it should not reach the 128 number. While loop will be exits at the if it is a reach, if it reaches the 127, it exits. Otherwise, it will be continuing the while loop. Otherwise, it will be continuing the while loop itself. If it is reaches the 127, then it cannot exceed the 127 as the 128. So that it will be after reaching the 127, it has to be exit from this loop, my while statement. Okay, shall I erase this one? Okay, next one we'll consider the for loop here. For loop mainly consists of what the specify this type of loop with the keyword as the for. Okay, we will mention what the for loop here. Consider the for loop. Here the main keyword is what the for is what the keyword. If you are writing the program for the statements with the for loop statements, then I have to use what the for as the keyword here. I have the 3 parts for the for loop. One is what the initialization of my for loop, and also it is to be given the next is to check the terminating condition. Check the terminating. Check the terminating condition. Okay, next is what the increment. Next is what the procedural assignment is to change the conditional value, whether it is an increment or decrement. You can have the both also here. Okay, this is what the conditional increment or decrement. increment or decrement. Okay, these are the, okay, for loop is always works with the one keyword, that is the for keyword. And also we have the three parts in the for loop. One is for the initialization, check the termination condition also. Okay, if it is initialization also, for example, for loop has the initialization as the I equals to 0. This is what the initialization. Then the for loop condition is what the I should not be exceed 128. Example, that one I'll take. Okay, it means less than the 128 itself. Then it is to be incremented what the 1 I plus plus. It's not the I plus plus. It means incrementing 1 C plus plus. As similarly the I plus plus. It's the increment of 1. Okay. This is what the for loop. This is the for loop statement. Always for loop statements works with the help of what the begin and end statements. Within the begin and end statements. Within the begin and end statements. Begin and end statements. For this begin and end statement will not come directly as the begin and I need what the initialization. You should remember. Okay, for example, writing the program for this one is to be incremental with the 0. You can write the define the max value as the, okay, take the example as the define the max value. Define, this is what the first of all define is what directives, system directives are what is this? You have studied in the third module, no? These are the directives. Okay, define the some values as the max of for the constants as the 32. Okay, then here I have the numbers here, the integer, states 0. It's to be initializing. Max should be what here, the max should be less than the 1. Okay, it means here the I can start with the 0 to 31. 0 to 31 is nothing but the 32 itself here, so that I can write with the integer as the I, and then I have to start with the initialization, initial, and the begin and the end, and also end here. I have to write the for statement within this block, initial block. I have to write the for loop within this initial block. Okay, then how could I write this one as the with the how could I write this one as the there are two ways to write even and odd parities, even and odd parities. My for loop always if my for loop starts with the writing the as the, if I equals to 0, then I could get the number of numbers here, the up to 32 I can get to what the value here, the less than the, this is what the I is less than the 32, then the I is what the I plus plus. Plus plus means what the, it is the only increment with 1, but the I cannot give the I plus plus for incrementation of 2. If I made the I plus 2 is nothing but it's incrementing the 2, it's incrementing the 2, then I could get the values here like this. This is what the I can get the values here, the state as the 0 to values from state starts with the 0. It means here the I can get the values here what the even values, even values. If you want to get the values with the odd parity, odd form, then I can go with what the for I equals to 0. No, I cannot go with 0. I can go with what the 1. 1 plus 2 is how much? 3. 3 plus 2 is how much? 5. Like this I can get here, so that it should be here the I is less than the 32 itself, I plus of 2 itself. This here will get what the odd parity values. Okay, odd parity values. This is what the writing a program with while using the for loop for with the help of for loop within a block. Okay, there will get the even values, even parity values, even will get what the odd parity values. Just to copy whatever I written about. Okay, you'll be asking in the examinations, explain the while statement and the for loop statements with an example. Okay, this much is enough for writing the program in the examination for 6 marks. Okay, then we'll move toward the forever and repeat statements. These two are very easy. For loop is used with the help of the for keyword. You have the two parts here, the initialization, check the terminating condition, another one the conditional increment. Okay, here I have the example here, the for equals to I is less than I equals to 0, I is less than 128, I plus plus. If my increment is 1, then I go with the I plus plus. Okay. If you are writing the statements within the for loop statement, then I have to go with the start with the begin and end also. Okay, these two are the important. Okay, for example, define the max of 32 values. I have to define integer state is what, the 0 to 31, 0 to 31. Okay, I have to start with the integer values as the initialized with the as the integer, define the variable as the integer I, then the I use the initial begin with the for loop as the I equals to 0, I is less than the 32, I plus plus. This is what the I plus 2, I made it towards the even number of values here. 0 plus 2 is how much? 2. 2 plus 2 is how much? 4. Like this, even values I can get. Even if you want to get the odd parity values, then I can go with what, the for equals to I equals to 1, I is less than the 32, I plus 2. Means what, the it is to be count starts with the 1 plus 2 is how much? 3. 3 plus 2 is how much? 5. We'll get the odd values also here. This was the for loop statement. Yes, come in. Illustrate the use of illustrate the use of while and for loops while and for loops with an example. Illustrate the while and for loops with examples for 6 marks. Okay, while and for loops, while and while loop and for loop with example. Okay, next question. Okay, write a Verilog code for clock generation, clock generation, clock generation, clock generation. Write a Verilog code for clock generation with a period of 20 minutes, with a period of 20 units, with a period of 20 units, with a period of 20 units using a forever loop. Using a forever loop. Okay, these are the frequent last question. Let me consider first one as the third one as what, the forever loop itself. No, just I go with the repeat loop now. Okay. Okay, this is the repeat loop. Repeat loops use the repeat keyword for writing the loops with the repeat keyword. General logical expression usually will this type of loops will use the logical expression purpose. Okay, sometimes these other loops will be used for the counting and all. This is what the which will be used for the general logical expression where you have to be repeatedly looping that statements and all. In such a situation, we'll use the repeat loops. Okay, repeat loops. Worker. Okay, this repeat loops will be continue until the it is to be reached what the not true. True idre ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತದ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತದ ಟ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ loop. If it is not true, then it will terminate there only. It will exit from that loop. It will do it another work. It means here the for example, if I have the count here the integer value is to be what the it's what the counting here. I'm doing what the count here, so that initially I will go with what the initial. If there is a initial statement, then I should have what the begin and end compulsory. Begin and end. You should remember this one. Begin and end. Begin and end. Okay, count always starts. I'm initializing count will be what the count equals to 0. Okay, repeat. Repeat 128. Okay, then the display. Okay, here I have the small piece of code for writing the example for the repeat statements. Repeat statement. Here I have the integer block, integer count is initialized. If I go with the initialization, then I should have the begin and end itself. Begin and end itself. Begin and end itself. Okay, then I could go with what the count equals to 0. Repeat this incrementation up to what the 128 times. It means that the 120, it should not reach the 128, it should be up to it to be what the 128. Okay, then the begin, it is to be written one more time, begin, and also end also here also one more time, begin and end. Okay, this is what the begin. It's a dollar display. It is the value that it is to be display the count equals to percentage of d. If it is a 0, it is to be initialized 0. Okay, if it is the count is incremented with what the 1, then it is to be displayed as the 1. Count will be incremented up to here the how many times? It's to be repeated how many times? 128 times. This is what the repeat statement I used here. This is what the repeat statement. Okay, this is what the very easy loop condition loop statement. The repeat loops are used with the one keyword, that is the repeat keyword. These are usually generally logical expressions where you have to go with the and also if it is a true, then only the repeat loop will be continue execution. If it is a founds the not true, then it will stop the execution of the repeat loop. For example, if I go with the incrementation of this count is what the count initially it is the I use the initial means what the if I use the initial keyword, that there we are writing what type of programming? Behavioral model programming. If I have the initial statement, then I could have the definitely begin and end. Thereafter, I have to start the count equals to 0, and I use the repeater 128 times. It has to be repeated. This is to be repeated with the one more block, that is the begin and end. There I have to display what the count equals to, what is the value of the count. Initially count value is what? 0. Then it is to be incremented with what the count plus plus. He has given count plus plus. Means what the increment with what the 1. If it is a plus plus, then there is a what the increment with 1. If you want to have the default count is what the plus plus itself. If you want to have the your user defined count, that's what the count plus what the 2 also you can mention, 3 also mention like this. This is to be repeated, okay, until to reach what the condition here, the 128 times. It has to reach the number, max value is what the number is, what the 128. This is what the writing a program with the help of a repeat statement. Then I'll go with what the next one is, what the forever statement. Copy that program, copy it. Okay, you need to write these are these very simple examples. They will be asking the for 6 marks for the two loops, okay, while loop and for loop. You will be asking for the forever loop and also repeat loop also. Okay, they will be asking definitely. They are 100% question. This one is very simple one. Already you studied this type of concepts in another subjects in your CS branch. The same is our Verilog code is also have supports and also works based is similar to what the C++ itself, C or C++. Okay, next one is consider the forever loop. Forever loops will have the one keyword, that's the forever. If I am using the forever keyword for writing the loops, it will be used the one keyword, that's the what the forever keyword. Okay, and also we have the this type of expressions will does not have the any conditions here. It is what the repeating. It's what the repeating itself. It's what the repeating until the we don't have the any expressions, any kind of things here. We don't have the any conditions. It is to be repeated until what the we cannot reach the any of the conditions here. We don't have the any conditional statements here. Okay, this was the repeated until the we don't have the any expressions. We don't have. It's only one condition is it has to be true. Okay, it has to be it works similar to what the while statement. While statement will execute until the it is a true, otherwise it is to be exited, okay, by itself by using what the default, that's the default keyword I was using. Similarly here I'll be using the what the statement, that's the dollar finish. This is what the dollar finish statement. This is what the type of system task statements. These are what the system task statements. These to be executed. The what it will be saying that it would be the next is what the will not have the any more further loop statement here. We don't have the any for. It means if it is to be reached, the forever loop will be continue until the it has to reach what the false condition. We don't have any conditions for until if it is reaching all the time, then I can terminate this forever loop with the help of the finish dollar finish statement, dollar finish statement. Okay, this is what the similar to what the always true in what the while statement and all. Okay, for example, this is what the examination he asked the in examples. Example as the clock generation. Clock generation. How to clock will be generated here, the timing here. Okay, register. Reg is what the reg is nothing but what this is the output. What we are getting, the we need to output here, the clock is to be okay. Then the it is to be initialized with the initial statement, and also if I have the initial statement, then I could have the here the begin and end also here, begin and end also, so that I could write the first bit is what the clock is start with the, okay, sorry, one bit of 0, one bit of 0 initializing with the 0 itself, and the I'm using the forever loop here, forever loop with the delay here, with the delay I'm sending here. What is the, with the hash, with the some conditions I'm adding. I can send the delay as the 10. If it is not the delay is giving the 10 itself. I can go with the, in the examination they ask for the 20 seconds, 20 units of delay, 20 units of delay. But I can go with the help of for the 10 counts also, 10 counts also. Okay, if it is asking for the 20 units, then I could go with the what the, okay, forever delay is what the 10, clock equals to, clock equals to, clock equals to, okay. See here, this is the clock example which will be generating the 20 units of delay here. Okay, the register clock initial begin clock goes to 1 bit of for the 0. That's the binary of 0. Forever, I am using the loop here, the forever loop I am using here with the 20 units of delay, with the 20 10 alladu 20 ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, 20 units of delay with the clock equals to, clock always have the two edges, as you already know this, positive edge and negative edge. How the clock will be shown in the Verilog code? How? With the help of what, the waveform, whether it is the sinusoidal waveform or which one, which type of waveform I can go with, the square waveform. Okay, this is what the square waveform I can go with, the as the clock will be like this, like this. Okay, this is what the clock waveform. Okay, this is what the high position, low position, high position, low position. Whatever have the delay, this is what the low position is, nothing but the delay itself. We are mentioning the delay. If you are giving the delay, means what, the we are generating the clock here, means what the delay is what the 20 seconds with the clock of for the 1. Clock will have the how many 12, means what, the how many degrees, that is the 360 degree, 360 degree na, ಹೌದಾ 360 degree ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ 360 degree, this 360 degrees what the, this is what the 128, yes sir, another 120 is what the here, the this is the another 128. It means here the we are giving the 10 units here, the for the first 128, first 128, another 120 is to be what, the another 10, so that I can write the this as the what, the 10 itself, because the first positive clock will have the 10 units of delay, negative clock will have the 10 units of what, the delay. It means what, the exactly what, the 360 degree, it's exactly what, the 360 degree. Exactly here what, the 360 degree here. This is what the 10 delay for the positive, and this is the 10 delay for the another another one. This is what the positive edge. Positive edge means this is the positive edge. This is what the negative edge. This is the increasing means what, the positive edge. Decreasing means what, the negative edge. This is the clock which will generating the 10 delay I'm giving for the positive, and another 10 will be generating automatically. That's what the 20 automatically becomes 20. Then we have to go with what the register. If you want to have the only the positive clock, positive edge generation, then I can go with the register clock equals to x5. So that initially that the forever loop I am using here, positive edge clock with the clock x equals to y itself, or x equals to y itself. It means here the whatever I'm using here the clock generation, that could have the what the 20 units of delay here with the 10 for the negative edge clock, another 10 for the positive edge clock. This is all about the writing the coding for loops with the for loop, while loop, and the repeat and the forever loops. Okay. Nowadays summer this season is very bad. Temperatures are very high. I'm suffering actually dehydration, body ache. Even I cannot. I'm not taking the food also for 3 days. I did not taken any food. Very bad situation. Don't go in high temperatures sun rays. What is the time now? 11:10. Okay, almost end the class. We'll wind up the class. Many students are not attending the classes these days. Definitely, they could pay off that one in the marks. I'll not give them good marks. Definitely, those who are attending, definitely, I'll identify those students and give the good marks. Definitely. Bhimrai, okay. Next is what? Indubai is there. Next, Kavya. Kavya Yam, okay. 34 hours. ಮತ್ತು ಅನ್ನಪೂರ್ಣ ಎಷ್ಟು ರೀ 11 ರೀ ನಿಮ್ದು ಸ್ನೇಹ 101 ಹಾಂ 95 ರೀ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಎನ್ನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾವೆ ಅಮ್ಮ 78 ರೀ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಗೆ okay done okay almost all done. I need one more class to complete the fourth module. Okay please tomorrow I'll take the class.